When 50 smacked Cam on his hips, I really was mad about that.
This was totally unnecessary.
OG from Harlem and everyone I respect is like, yo, cut this, embarrassing.
We've seen the smiles, the guest spots, and that fake "we all cool" energy. But off camera, this triangle between Dame Dash, Cameron, and 50 Cent was getting dangerous. Cam says their friendship hit a point of no return. Dame swears he watched 50 smack Cam and felt some type of way. And in the middle sits a work together challenge that looked peaceful but smelled like a power play.
I don't really understand what it is, but I feel like 50, Cam, me, if together we show that we could be beefing, pause, and then come together and maybe do a TV show together, something different. Or a movie or something, just showing the world that we can work together, then we would prove everyone wrong. They love us tearing each other down, and I'm not doing that. And I apologize to my OGs for embarrassing you. But I just wanted to talk.
Stay locked. In 10 minutes, you'll know who fired first, who clapped back, and why work together turned into open fire. When someone in New York says, let's show the world that black people can work together, it sounds positive, but it can also be a setup. It forces rivals to either agree publicly or look like the villain stopping progress. That's why tone matters. If the message comes with a smile and a boss stance, it's not unity.
Let me ask a quick question. If somebody gets a loan for $180 million, are they rich or broke?
No, they're not rich. They're so responsible for that loan.
If someone gives someone a loan for $180 million,
Yes.
and I have no debt, who's worth more?
The billionaire. He's still a billionaire,
Who
regardless
has
of loan or not.
It's a test of power. Who's the leader here? Who's calling the shots? Now look at Dame Dash's media run. He's not begging, he's calculating, he's counting value, flipping the scoreboard, loans versus liquid, leverage versus clout, creator versus middleman. When Dame talks numbers, it's not just flexing, it's war talk. He's breaking down why he doesn't need validation from the same industry rooms that some rappers beg to enter. The message underneath? I don't stand in your line, you stand in mine. So when that work together clip dropped, Dame didn't hear teamwork. He heard a command, a setup that screamed work for me without any real deal on paper. And that right there lit the fuse that sparked this whole beef. Cameron became the bridge. Harlem roots on both sides, cameras in every direction, and a long history of messy friendship. One man saying, let's come together and prove them wrong, while the others clapping back with, show me the math, show me the respect, and stop talking like you're my boss. No diss track needed when the power talk is already this loud. The dynamic, chairman versus collaborator, and it played out in two brutal moves. First, the unity pitch. Sounds friendly, but it secretly assigns roles. Then comes the audit. Sounds hostile, but it's actually parody. That's the first collision right there. Not about whether to work, but who's in charge when the work happens. Then came the second hit. Cam's public line in the sand about the friendship. Once that hit the internet, there's no DM that can fix it. Only receipts. And if that still sounds like peace to you, then to Dame, it sounds like a contract he never signed with a boss he never hired.
So what you think about that?
Nah, I'm at the point of no return. I'm at that point, because this was totally unnecessary. For me, it was totally unnecessary. And the way it went about, for me, it didn't have to be public. It didn't have to be all this. All I said, I hate repeating how this started.
Now, Cameron doesn't dodge the question. When asked if there's a point of no return with Dame, he answers straight up. In hip-hop, friendships have survived jail time, lawsuits, even shootouts. But one thing that rarely survives is public pride. You can fix money issues, rewrite contracts, but you can't unsay a headline. So when Cam says that friendship has hit that wall, he's making it clear, I'm done negotiating the past. That statement instantly shifts the energy. Anyone trying to mediate after that looks late, and anyone still preaching unity looks like they're ignoring Cam's boundary. But Cam ain't moving off emotion. He's strategic. He breaks it down. The line, the context, the reason. He's making sure Dame's narrative doesn't overwrite his side of Harlem history. And in Harlem politics, that's everything. Because on those blocks, you can be bold. But if you're sloppy with facts, respect disappears fast. Cam's wordplay here is sharp, every syllable intentional, and then he drops his coldest move, separating nostalgia from now. Translation: don't use those old Rockefeller ties to manage me today. That hit different. Hear that click? That's not a door closing. That's a padlock. And when that padlock locks, the whole atmosphere changes. Media starts asking new questions, peers quietly pick sides, and old clips suddenly look like warnings no one caught.
From Dame and just not speak to him. But nobody ever knew that. Nobody ever knew that. When me and Dame, not saying our relationship been perfect from beginning to end, when we got problems, you never heard no problems from me, because all I did was just not pick the phone up. I didn't run to the internet. But he kept going on and on and on. And then on top of that, all I said was, all right, right, bet. You want to talk about honor up, I import supported? I said, all right, cool. Honor up, I don't.
And that's where it turns personal, because once Dame starts talking, he's not just defending, he's rebuilding his legend. He starts provoking, dropping 50's name, bringing up the smack, and reframing why he even cared in the first place. That's not reconciliation talk. That's a straight-up counterpunch. Ain't no love in that move, just strategy. So now the board's fully set. Cam draws his boundary, and Dame sharpens the knife. That work together banner, it starts looking more like a stage light now. Then we watch Dame weaponize the past, using 50's name to make Harlem pay attention. This is where Dame flips the whole board. Instead of begging for peace, he turns it into a performance about pride. That's Harlem language, loud, proud, and coded in competition, even when the mic's off. Dame doesn't just say Cam crossed him. He replays it. That moment when 50 allegedly smacked Cam on his hip.
You know, at the time I considered myself as OG, and that's that I want him doing. But what I was saying was, you over there with Steve Stout, someone that's I slapped, and someone I'm beefing with, and 50 who's coming at me, pause, and you letting 50 smack you on the hips, and y'all chilling? Something must be going on. A Harlem never lets anybody smack him on the hips, on the ass, not even in ball.
Whether you see it as petty or genius, calling out 50's name is tactical. It blows the conversation wide open, pulls in a bigger crowd, and traps Cam into answering a memory he can't erase. You can debate the tone, but you can't debate the tape. And that's why this whole thing hits deeper. It's not just a clash between old friends. It's a public check of who's really checking who in rap. In this game, whoever holds the most embarrassing story often wins the moment, even if they lose the argument. Dame knows that. He's seen it all, from boardrooms to barbershops. And he understands one thing. A single vivid moment can destroy 1,000 calm explanations if Cam's out here drawing lines. Dame's not just drawing lines. He's painting billboards on those boundaries so the whole world can see them. But there's another layer to it. When he starts talking about who he will and won't hang with, it's not jealousy, it's control. He's policing proximity. Translation, if we're not aligned, I'm not sharing a stage, a camera, or a promo. That's Hollywood logic mixed with Harlem etiquette. Cold but calculated. The message to Cam isn't I miss you. It's you don't get my cosign unless I respect your move. And once you throw 50 into that mix, a man who treats media like a contact sport, things don't cool off. They ignite. The triangle tightens. Cam locks the door. Dame lights a flare. And 50's shadow looms over both of them like a warning.
I be seeing Cam ask me that stupid shit like, I'm not trying to I don't want to hang out with him. I don't mind hanging out with him because he's funny, but he's loyal. And that's what it's like, now I was like, damn, I thought like I got Cam, he got Bleak, damn. And I thought that was way strong.
It's no longer can black men work together. It's which black men, under whose authority, and on whose terms. That's the real tension. And watch how Dame spins it. He turns money talk into a moral war. Because online, nothing hits harder than claiming the other man's scoreboard is fake. Money's supposed to end debates. But in this arena, it starts them. When Dame says, alone isn't the same as liquid wealth, he's not nitpicking. He's exposing the illusion. A headline might say, $180 million, and the public screams rich. But Dame's over here reading the fine print, leverage, terms, and ownership. And once you see it through his lens, the whole story changes. Social media flexing turns into financial reporting when Dame starts talking. Every flashy post becomes a credit report. The loudest brag suddenly looks like an audited line item. That's not just financial literacy. That's a hierarchy attack. He's basically saying, stop judging kings by rented crowns.
Let me ask a quick question. If somebody gets a loan for $180 million, are they rich or broke?
No, they're not rich. They're so responsible for that loan. It's a loan.
So you don't think, so if the billionaire that you think, every billionaire you know, so if they have a loan for $100 million alone, and I have no debt, who got more money?
What happened? Say it again now.
If someone gives someone a loan for $180 million, and I have no debt, who's worth more?
The billionaire. He's still a billionaire.
Who has
a loan?
Then he pushes deeper. What does broke even mean to a man who feeds his family, pays tuition, and builds his own platforms? Dame doesn't argue emotions. He drops receipts. He lists assets, obligations, and achievements handled without permission from anyone. That flips the broke insult into a weak weapon, something people throw when they can't win the argument, so they try to shrink your worth. Cam's power move is his boundary, but Dame's power move is his balance sheet. Tie that back to the work together talk and the pattern becomes clear. Unity's easy when everyone salutes the same captain, but it turns into war when folks can't agree on what value really means. Dame's message hits like a thesis. Don't call me the builder if you're grading me with the wrong rubric. Don't scream community while counting loans like their ownership. Whether you love him or hate him, that's a statement with weight. And just when things seem too tense to fix, boom, Cam and Maze grab the mic live.
No, I don't know if I like that.
I like it, man. For
It's hard.
yeah, I like
You're
the
not
look.
Ryan Clark, Mo.
Hey, listen, look, the brand moving forward, man. Look, I was in the same streets that y'all was in. I heard all the fans going crazy, and when I came back, I wanted them to see me at my best. And since there's a lot of attention in the YouTube streets with with everything going on, I just wanted to make sure there was eyeballs on the shots on the people to see me at my best. And that's
Their jokes and timing shift the whole vibe, flipping a heated feud into entertainment that might just rewrite the story in real time. And that's why the Work Together Challenge hits different from this angle. Partnership is cool, but not when it feels like submission. If there's gonna be collaboration, the stage better be level. And if it's not, Harlem's gonna clown it until the crowd sees the tilt. That's Harlem energy. When the power ain't balanced, they turn it into comedy until the truth can't be ignored. Now watch the pivot. Cam breaks down why he was ever drawn to that alliance and why it fell apart. That's the setup for the next move. A full circle moment that bounces right back to Dame because he's not stepping down, he's stepping up. When Dame responds to the Work Together talk, he answers with titles and structure. I'm the chairman. I don't talk to middlemen. That's the raw essence of this whole story. Collaboration only works when everyone's throne is respected. In Dame's world, status ain't gossip. It's earned seating. And when people call him broke, he doesn't argue emotions, he argues responsibility. That's what really hits. Because whatever you think of his tone, he's out here paying for real life. Kids, schools, overhead. Call that man broke, and he'll pull out a household budget that makes most folks look small. The point isn't to flex, it's to disprove the insult. If your insult can't survive a receipt, it's propaganda.
And so that's where I thought the attraction came from, to start the third string guy, to send a message out there to say, if you're a top tier player who probably don't get the money that these Power Fives can pay you and you want to play elsewhere, I thought that was a message to send out.
Put it all together and the triangle locks into a simple code. If unity demands submission, it's a no. If boundaries mean humiliation, it's a no. If status requires lies, it's a no. Everything else, that's just content for the timeline. Here we are, a unity post that turned into a pecking order, a friendship that ended with a click, and a broke narrative that got buried under a pile of receipts. Dame refuses to be managed, Cam refuses to be measured by someone else's story, and 50's name still hangs in the middle, because one story about a smack can still shake the whole room in 2025. Could they ever work together again? Maybe, but not if working together means one man gets to be the chairman of the other's image, not if the jokes are meant to hide the cuts, and definitely not if the scoreboard's written in loans and labels instead of ownership. If peace ever comes, it won't be because cameras beg for it. It'll be because the terms finally changed. Until then, buckle up, because next time someone says work together, you better check who's holding the pen. Now, I want to know what you think. Could Dame, Cam, and 50 ever truly make peace, or is this bond too far gone? Drop your thoughts below. I read every single one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It means everything to me and keeps this channel alive so I can keep bringing you the real stories no one else will tell.